Welcome everybody to another episode of TREW, the real estate wrap-up. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Gelfand.
I'm Leslie Lambert.
Well, our first topic today is an interesting turn of events in Northfield, Mass., which is just north of us, kind of near the New Hampshire-Vermont border. A billionaire has pledged to give away a campus that once was the Mount Herman prep school for free, as long as the new owner will maintain it as a Christian institution.
Yeah, so apparently they purchased the school and put, what, like $5 million worth of improvements in the last year? So the place is considered to be move-in ready now. And I guess there's a steady stream of candidates that have been traveling up to Northfield to check out the facility. It's a beautiful place. It's a lovely historic grounds. And they must be, I'm not sure how the picking of who's going to actually win this school is going to end up happening, but there must be some sort of a vetting process. And
you would hope so.
Yeah, and then they get this place for free.
Yeah, it was originally founded by D.L. Moody as I guess a girls' prep school. Mm-hmm. And the current family has owned it since, looks like 2005. And I'm sorry, they bought it in 2009. 2005 that school was consolidated with another school to save on electricity, it looks like. But in 2009, now it belongs to the Green family.
Yeah, and apparently they made their fortune on hobbies and crafts. They're from Oklahoma, and their one criteria is that the new owners run a Christian-based school. So, if you're interested in running a Christian-based school,
217 acres for free in Northfield.
Perfect.
Perfect with some condos. Christian condos,
Christian
of course.
Condos.
Well, our next topic today is going to be your credit score. It is something that comes up no matter what market we're in, no matter who we deal with. It is kind of the underlying, very important factor in anything, and most certainly in purchasing a home.
Yes, and I think in the current economy, it's become an even bigger issue because there are a lot of people who have been undergoing even what might be temporary setbacks that have impacted their credit score negatively. So basically, as a guideline, so that you understand what the range of credit is, 350 is poor, and you're pretty much getting nowhere with that. I mean, you might be able to buy a candy bar at the store. And then all the way up to 800, which is perfect credit. And is very rare these days because it's hard for people. They're living, some people, many people, even people you wouldn't suspect are living sort of paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes that credit card bill comes in at a bad point in the month, and they may exceed their 15-day grace period and make a 30-day late payment and think, oh, well, a 30-day late payment here and there won't really make a big deal, but it can start to rack up on your, on that report. It can start to alter your credit score.
And the credit score is often referred to as the FICO score, which is the Fair Isaac credit something. And most people don't really know what is made up in the credit score. And actually, it's private information, secret, how the actual score is calculated. The one thing that we found on myfico.com, it kind of broke it down how much, what things make up what percent of that formula that nobody will ever know. 35% of your credit of your FICO score is your payment history. 30% is the amount you owe in credit. 15% is going to be length of credit history. Meaning that if you're 18 years old, you just got your first credit card, you can never have as high of a credit score as somebody in their 60s and 70s who's had credit for their whole adult life. 10% of it is new credit, and another 10% of its types of credit used.
Yeah, and interestingly, a lot of people will come and apply for a mortgage who don't have credit cards, and they think that that's a benefit. I don't have any outstanding credit because I don't have any credit at all. I've got a down payment. Well, that is a problem, actually. Having no credit is a low credit score.
Absolutely.
So that's not good either. You need to have good credit, on file good credit.
Absolutely. And it doesn't mean you have to use the credit, but just having it is important. And we hear the term trade lines used quite a bit, and that's, every lender has a certain minimum requirement trade lines. Granted, they could also be maybe a utility bill or a cell phone bill as well, but credit cards are certainly the more desirable version.
Yeah, and so even if you're not interested in using credit, if you're one of these people that's been very careful, if you're planning on applying for a car loan or especially a mortgage, take out a couple of credit cards, pay them off every month in full, just as if you used cash, and keep that good credit rolling. You know, it doesn't have to be a huge balance every month, but if you buy a couple of things a month, pay it off at the end of the month, then you're building up a really good credit score and starting your credit history, because as Nick said, new credit can't ever rate as high as older credit, seasoned credit, as long as it's been kept healthy. You know.
And lenders are always finding ways to minimize their risk and gauge, I guess, their risk. And that's basically one of the reasons of the FICO score. It allows them to have a calculated, make their decision a little bit more calculated based on your previous history. But your credit score is actually way more important than it once was. Because most recently it started being used for insurances. Employers are now checking it. So there's many
landlords
other landlords, absolutely. So there's so many different places where having a better credit score may be the difference of you getting a job or getting an apartment. There's a gentleman named John Alzheimer. He's the president of consumer education at smartcredit.com and the credit blogger for mint.com. He's actually an expert on credit reporting and credit scoring. He was actually formerly with FICO, the people who make up the score, Equifax, and Credit.com. And he actually has just come out with his 7 deadly credit score sins.
Yeah, so the first one's deadbeat behavior, and this is pretty much an obvious thing. If you have frequent and significant repeated late payments, 30, 60, 90 days late, you're going to be impacting your credit significantly. That's probably one of the ones that happens most often. It's probably happened to most of you that are watching. I know that it's happened to me. And it's, you know, when you're caught up in a month that's getting away from you, you're not always thinking about your credit score, but they do add up and they do impact your credit score.
Absolutely, they report. You know, every sort of any place you give your social security number to will potentially report any sort of activity you have, whether it's positive or negative, to the credit agency. Number 2 is collection activity. So it's actually when a lender is no longer interested in collecting their debt themselves. They sell it off to a collection agency, and now the collection agency is harassing you, which, you know, they tend to do. That is his deadly sin for your credit score, number 2.
Yeah, number 3 is charge-offs. So if they give up on your collection and acknowledge that you're never going to pay the bill, it charges the debt and puts your report on notice for 7 years. 7 years. 7 deadly sins, 7 years. So anyway, that's a big one.
Another one is public recordings of, let's say, a bankruptcy, a tax lien, or a judgment. And those actually can stay on your credits, that can affect your credit score for as much as 10 years.
Yeah. Short sales, any of those kind of things come up as settlements. So this is our next deadly sin. A settlement is if you pay a portion of your debt into via a settlement. So you and your debt make an agreement to settle at a smaller rate. And there's a lot of services that people might employ to help them get their extended credit under control, and they work out these sort of payment plans with reduced settlements, which may be fine to get you out of the circumstance, but you need to understand that once you're out of the circumstance, you've now impacted your credit score, because settlements will show up as a negative impact on your credit score.
Number 6 is foreclosures. An obvious one. If you are foreclosed on, it will negatively affect your credit score for quite some time.
Yeah, that's a big one. And another big one, the last one, is a repossession. So let's say you haven't paid your car payment and it's been going on for a while. The repo man has the right to come collect your car, and they're going to collect a part of your credit while they take the car. So those are some big ones, and you know, you want to really do the best you can to protect your credit, because as Nick said, there's any number of sources or reasons why you need to use your credit now. It's not strictly just to make large purchases anymore.
And it's important to check your credit regularly. You're allowed to check it once a year at no cost, and it's important to check it just to see if there's mistakes, because mistakes do happen.
Yes, they do. I've experienced in my personal experience, someone that I know had someone else's credit on their credit report, and they had the same name except middle initial, and their negative credit was being filed somehow onto their credit report, and it was really negatively impacting them. So that took a little while to clean up, but as soon as it was cleared up, big jump on the credit score. You can also request a copy if you've applied for credit and you didn't get the loan or whatever, the credit card or whatever. You are able to get a copy of your report at that point too. You have the right to request that they send that for free as well. So do your due diligence, check those things out, take care of your credit, because it can't take care of you if you don't start.
Exactly. And if you do catch an error on your credit report, it is important to actually fix that error. Mm-hmm. And in order to do that, you really have to do it in writing. They suggest that you just write a letter to the actual credit bureau, in addition to contacting the actual creditor that has made the error in the first place. And in the letter, clearly identify each item in your report that you're disputing. State the facts and explain why you're disputing. And also request the deletion or correction of that credit. And then hopefully, as it happened in the case that you're talking about, mm-hmm. these things happen. Yep.
So that's our show for today. Thank you for joining us. You can find us at TREW Show, just TREW show.com. I'm Leslie Lambert.
And I'm Nick Gelfand.